Yeah, yeah. The world is yours, nigga. Every day is a win, nigga. Even when you lose, it's a lesson, eh?
All right. Everybody says they want love, but nobody really knows how to keep it. Relationships don't last. People don't trust each other, and everything feels temporary. So today we're talking about it. This is Brahamid Speaks, Game Passed Down, and we're asking, does anybody actually know how to love anymore? Let's get into it. Brother Brahamid, do you think people actually know how to love today, or are we just going through the motions?
Well, people do know how to love because it's already ingrained in them.
Mm-hmm.
But the word alone, for me, have always been. I have a saying about the word love, that love is just a four-letter word, and it means. Yeah, it's just a four-letter word. It's just a word that emotions get tied up into it, but it comes so sporadic. Love is a sporadic thing. It's not something that's on you the whole time. You're not loving the whole day, as what people would make to believe. And someone in a relationship wants you to act this love out, which was manufactured from the movie industry. This ring, this, oh, I love this girl, I met her here, and now we fell out, and now we have to fall back in love again, and she's the one. Far from the truth. It's more to it than that. Love is just a four-letter word. I'll say that again because it's very sporadic. We have fallen out of the idea of what love really is. It's about being compatible, and you understanding this from the get-go, that you are compatible. You're gonna fall out because issues kick in along the way, but people don't know how to iron them out. People don't want to get help with love, with that significant other that you're dealing with. You're gonna need help with that to understand how that person is. But all in all, you have to give each other time to become comfortable with you, and love is gonna come, but later. Love mean you stay together. Love don't mean that you broke up for any little reasons that you had. Love mean that you stay together through the thick and thin. And not everything you're gonna like. There's not been one person that was in a super great relationship. You have your ups and downs, and that's just the way it is. It comes later.
Well, because it feels like everybody wants love, but nobody knows what love actually is.
And nobody will ever know what love actually is. But it is, again, staying together, going through the ups and downs. You understand, you got to iron out issues as you go and leave it behind you. But what tends to happen is we keep on bringing the past into our future, and it ruins it. You got to leave that stuff alone. Let it go. Let it go, and don't bring it up again. We don't want to hear that stuff over and again. Not just men, I'm talking about women too. You don't want to keep bringing that up. You got to let it go, because that's something that you're going to get triggered by every time it comes up. Even when you're mad, don't bring it up. Because when you're happy, you don't bring it up. So why you wait until you're mad to be mean, and then you bring up the past? And that's not the way it's supposed to go.
So basically, pettiness can't survive in a relationship.
Pettiness will never survive in a relationship. You have to move on, because we have shit to do, actually. Love's supposed to come second, especially, again, when you have your kids. The love gets transferred to them. So love has to be spread around. So you're not going to get what you think you deserve. You're just not going to get what you think you deserve, because it starts to be spread. Your mama, you got your kids, you got your dog, maybe you got, I'm adding extra stuff, but I'm just saying it gets spread around so thin that's why love is just a four-letter word. It just is. And it comes later.
So I want to ask, so what is love really? Like, what is it? How would you best define it?
How can I break down love?
Yeah.
Boy meets girl. girl likes boy, boy likes girl. An immediate attraction, and it starts young when we don't really understand it. That's what I'm saying. We don't understand it when we're young, so your attitude get contaminated by each other when you're young. So you move on to the next girl or guy, and it gets contaminated. You're supposed to solidify this love for someone early. That way you could have a relationship. The relationship is long-term. That's what it means, a long-term relationship through its ups and downs. And the love is going to come in when you iron out. You have to iron out these issues. One of the issues is are we going to have a time that we spend together? Time is something you got to iron out and come to an agreement with. Attitudes, you have to iron those down a little bit if you want it to work. Now, if you want it to work, you got to iron down those attitudes down, and you have to always come together and see if you guys could make a change for each other, especially when you include kids, because they're important. And the more relationship you have, it's going to be hard for you to find love, because memory is a bitch about how bad somebody had treated you in the past. It's you're gonna bring it into the new relationship. That's why it was best that you find your sweetheart early, or that guy early, and settle down with that person. Because the older you get, the harder it is to find love. The word love, of course. It's harder to find it because we get set in our ways, and we're not gonna change it. You know, we tend to not want to change later on in life, especially. That's why it's best that this love thing gets solidified a little when you're younger.
So I want to ask you, to piggyback off of that original question, what are some of the building blocks of love then?
The building blocks of love, again, I've talked about it in other episodes, is the man needs to already have his 4 pillars already. He's supposed to already be practicing his 4 pillars. His foundation should already be built out already, so that he could bring someone in knowing he's comfortable, and now he can get this woman to be comfortable around him, you know, around what he has, around what he do, and everything like that. It starts with the man, and then the women will follow. And because you have to buffer what's coming. If you're not buffering what's going to come, love is thrown out the window. You know, it's thrown out the window. So he has to buffer it, because it always going to fall on the shoe, whether you like it or not. It just is, guys. It's just going to fall on you. And you have to make things comfortable for her, so she can make things comfortable for your kids. And then for your next kids, you have to make it comfortable. So it looks like boy meet girl again. You have to do your research with that significant other. Both do. I'm not saying that the women don't have to be careful, but make sure that when you start seeing the pink flags, because it's going to turn red, that you're like, okay, is this a habit? Because what happened is a person tend to do something repetitive, and he or she keep on trying to apologize for it. If they keep apologizing for their habits, it's not going to work.
So you feel like you have to vet people before
you definitely got to vet. It's best to vet. I didn't vet. I just went in on the looks, on what I liked. And I didn't vet her upbringing or what she has been through or any of that stuff. You know, I didn't vet at all in my relationship. I just went in, which is how relationship usually happen. It just happens. It just happened, and it moves fast, and then you realize you're married, and then now you have kids, and you didn't talk about none of this. You just went in just blind. And then when you look around, it's been 5-6 years, and this person is that same person I told you with that pink flag, but now you're so angry that you saw it, but you didn't want to believe it. But now it's 7 years in, and you believe it now, and sometimes it's too hard to leave. And if you do get up and you do leave, trust me, it's not going to be as easy to find somebody else. People are just not out there available like we think like that. People are just not that available, because you get stuck in your ways.
So love ain't just a feeling?
love is a feeling, but it's a sporadic feeling. Sporadic meaning like I go to work and I don't see you for a little while. The love is kind of separated. Love is when you're together. How are we treating each other? How are we treating each other is the cornerstone of love. If you being a bitch or he being an asshole, you're not loving me right now. You know, you're not loving that person. If when you come together, when he gets home from work or you get home from work, you guys need to be at peace. You got to try to find peace with each other at all time. And that is the only way I see love. But it is sporadic. It comes, it's an ebb and flow. Love is an ebb and flow. It goes out and it comes in. It goes out and it comes in. But are we at peace when we're at home or around each other? That's where it can become stronger.
I feel you. A question I want to add on to that. What is it for you as a man that's been through relationship? What is it that made you feel loved from the women that you were with?
Well, I was never one of those that needed her to. One thing I've always asked, the way I want their love is one thing I ask for of everybody, but especially of women, is just to respect me. That's it. I don't need nothing else from you. Trust me. Your respect is, once you respect me, love is going to be easy from there. It's going to be so easy from there for me. So that was the thing. I hear that they want you to lead, but when you're leading them, they think that you're being controlling. From what I've experienced I'm talking about my relationship. I don't know about any other women. They have always thought that I was trying to be controlling, but it's because I have a way of doing things. Like I said in the last episode, I have a way of doing things that I want stuff to be done early. I'm an early person. If I have kids, we go home because they have school tomorrow early. We're not hanging out. We're not drinking if we have kids. If it's just me and my woman, we can stay out all day. But then, no, you can't because you have jobs. You have shit to do is what I'm saying. So it's a ebb and flow. Love is just, it goes in and out, in and out.
So is it safe to say that men require respect to feel loved?
Oh, of course. That's the cornerstone of love. That's you shouldn't ask for more than that. Again, I don't think you should ask for more than that because you should have yourself already in tuned with manhood. This is where being in tune with manhood is, that he's not expecting much from his girl because he's the giver. He's the one who's supposed to be given. He gives his sperm. He gives his last name. He gives his protection. So he shouldn't be asking. He shouldn't be asking a woman for much. If she wants to do the extras for him, that's sweet. Right? I didn't mind the extras. One of the young ladies, and I was going to say men don't like surprises, but I'm going to say Brahamid don't like surprises from women. I like it after, but when it's actually happening, I don't like it. I had a young lady set something up for my birthday. It was really cute and everything like that, but I always feel like it's supposed to be my job. But I went through with the whole process, and in the end, after feeling the way I felt, it was really fun. But I don't need you to do much for me. You see what I'm saying? I don't need a woman to do much for me. Just respect me.
Okay. Why do relationships keep failing?
It keeps failing because people just get in it. They just jump in it. There's no plan for where we're going to live. Are we going to start a business? Nothing. And I know there's some people, again, I know there are people out there who are on it, right? And they're going to be doing what I'm saying right now. You're supposed to get together with a plan, because now you don't have nothing to do. But most relationships, it just so happened to be, even back then, even in 1988, when I was out and about, I was 20 and I started in my relationship journey. Even back then, I jumped in with no plan, nothing, just to jump in, have sex with this girl and see where it goes. And then you get serious, she becomes your girlfriend, but there's no plan. She's just a girlfriend, boyfriend, but there's no plan on when, if we are going to get married, are we going to have kids? So then you jump to the next girl, same thing. Or you get married, but when you get married, there's no plan, nothing. So the plan, without the plan, what happened? Arguments ensue because you have nothing going on. So now you keep looking at each other like, what are you doing? And then the next person gonna be looking at you, what the fuck you doing? And so then the argument starts, you know, and the guys still, and the girl still want to be young. So that's why I say, I know I said you're supposed to do it early, but in this era, and in all era, when you're young, we just don't know much. That's why we need help. That's why they always tell us to go and get counseling, to give you an idea of what you'd be looking for. If you could get counseling or idea of what to do, relationship can last a lot longer.
Okay, so do you feel people quit too fast?
Oh, hell yeah. I quit most of the time because I will not tolerate the disrespect. I will not tolerate you not listening to me, and I'm trying to lead you. Did I know what I was doing sometime? No, but most of the time I did, because I was always the older one. And I maybe that may have had a problem with it. I didn't see it then, but now at the age I am, I could see where a man being a little older than a woman, or a lot older than a woman, she always equated like that her father. And I wasn't trying to be her father. I told you, I do shit a certain way. I do shit a certain way. So if you're not following the way that I do it, I finish shit early. I like to get shit done, right? Early. Everything I do. And if you can't come and fall into that, this is where the problem come in. Then I become this controlling, always have something to say, and blah blah blah. But it's constructive thing I'm trying to tell and teach them, because you are going to be a teacher.
Yeah.
The man is teaching, and she's teaching you too. I learned a lot from my ex-wife.
Yeah.
But so people quit when it gets hard. People quit when, and again, you're gonna need to seek help. You gotta seek help. But I believe if you could come in together and have a plan and have a way that we're gonna do things, it could definitely work.
How much is the phone ruining relationships?
Oh my God, we're on this phone. I told you I don't like the phone. Personally, I really hated that these cell phones came to pass so soon. I think we should have waited until right now to start to introduce the phone. That's my opinion, it always will be. It ruins it again because you're not there. That phone, my precious, from that movie Lord of the Rings, this is exactly what it does. You see how they act in that movie? You see how crazy they act with each other in Lord of the Ring with that precious ring? That's what happens to relationship. You start to, you're not there. You're not in this relationship because that phone is beep beep. It's just distracting. And as soon as the phone ring now, and it didn't happen in my time, in my era, in the 80s, when there was no phone ringing, and when a phone ring, your woman would look at you, or her phone ring, you immediately look at her, and you wonder like, who the fuck is that, right? It could be nothing, but we become jealous because of a phone, quickly, just because of a phone. You turn quick, and something is going to come out of somebody's mouth, and those words are always, who is that? And I always used to say, none of your fucking business. But we didn't have that back then, because when we left the house, we didn't have your precious attached to your hip, or in your purse, or in your pocket, right? So your wife will never ever go, who is that? We did at home, only at home, when the phone ring, and you pick it up, and she'd be like, is that so-and-so? But it never really came up to be who is that, unless you're waiting for a call from a girl like I did. Hey, who is that? Is that Sheila? Right? But when I left the house, that was a non-worry with my girl. That was a non-worry that I have. I couldn't play I wasn't playing video games. I was paying attention to my girl. I wasn't scrolling. I was paying attention to my girl. When we in the restaurant, I'm paying full attention to my girl. She's paying full attention to me. That missing attention span is the thing that is ruining it, because people can go in their room and hide it and sleep with it right next to them under the bed. You better not touch that phone, because if you touch that phone, it could be a fight today, and it could be deadly. Ruined us. Again, I'm good. This is gonna be our topic forever. it ruined us because you cannot just be no more. So really, it comes with the love thing. It stripped love, some more love off of people because of that one device. People could dislike you because of your phone keep going off.
Yeah.
Think about it. It's sad. But, you know, it will never change again back to how it was. It's here to stay because it's a great invention. I'm sorry. It's one of the greatest inventions ever made because they consolidated everything into it. And it makes life way simpler. But it's going to ruin relationship for the rest of our life with all these Facebook, what do they call social media? Oh my God, then you be posting all your nudie pictures. We didn't get to see nudie pictures like that so freely. We had to work and hide it. So all of that, you can't say you like a girl's outfit on there. The audacity of you to tell me what I can and can't do. But this is where we're at, chaos.
So people not even present with each other anymore.
No, then you can't be present when you have something in your purse, your hip, that's going to distract you every time it goes off. You're not there. Every time it goes off, to me, you have your mind shift to the phone and what's going on there, right? It is not on me all the time. It was on me all the time. When you were flirting with a girl, you stared for a long time back then. There was no distraction. Before you even meet her, it was a staring thing going on back then. Where you look, and finally you had to muster up the courage to go talk to that girl. But when you went to go talk to her, there was nothing that's going to distract you. Nothing. So when you're talking to her, if you meet her, hey, how you doing, blah, 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 this conversation can go back and forth, back and forth. But now, if you go meet a girl, you ask her for a number, she's like, oh, I can't give you my number, I give you my Instagram. Not forgetting that you can still contact her. Yeah. The stupidest shit ever, that she can still be contacted. So what I did, if a girl told me she wouldn't give me her number back then, I was like, okay, then fine, it was nice to meet you. I probably gave my number to a girl probably twice in my life. Why? I know she's most likely not going to call me. And why again? Because she's not the hunter. I am. I'll call her. I was the one attracted to her first. She wasn't attracted to me first. I had to catch her attention. And then when she called, she kind of had to go, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. But, you know, she's sizing me up. And the connection was deep then. There's no deep connection no more. These notifications, these social media, these apps, it's too much for that little brain in your big ass head.
Mm-hmm. So, who's messing it up more right now, men or women?
Men and women is messing it up because we're not there. We're not there. Men and women is messing it up. It takes both of us for life to keep going on. There's no one. It's two. It's always been two. The man and the woman. It's always been two.
Some people would say that it's the man's fault because the man is the leader, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's both. It's both fault. The man is the leader. Okay, I'm gonna explain it to you then because it just came to me. The man is the leader, right? Mm-hmm. But the women too are the ones who raise the children, right?
That's true.
They're the ones who raise the children most of the time. No, from ever since, it's the ones who raise the children on the majority side. So it's both their fault. We've become too lackadaisical. Men, I would love for men to insert themselves more in their kids' lives and their women lives, you know. But the fault lies on both because you're gonna need both to fix it. Okay. Because one person, he's not gonna be able to fix it by himself. We need women. I'm here to tell you, we need them.
I believe it.
You know, and women, we need men. There's no way around it for it to be fixed. Is there gonna always be issues? Come on, y'all. Come on. It's gonna be issues, but we need both.
I feel that. Why don't people stay and work through things anymore?
Again, the disrespect. They're not being respect. They are supposed to be boundaries set. I don't play the calling each other names. These are one of the things I iron out right off the top once I know that this is going to be my girlfriend. I don't play that. Don't do that to me. I don't play the little fight games. I stop doing that early if I know you're going to be my girlfriend. I don't, if I tell you I'm going to do something, I do it. I'm hoping you're the same. Again, I don't like being late. So you're going to have to be, if we're going to church, I don't like being late to church. I like to get there when the church said that it starts, right? If the church says at 8:30, I want to get there at 8:15. You know, so little things like that could irritate you. You know what I mean? Well, me, because I don't know how people live, but I'm just saying, there's little things like that. The disrespect again is the main one for me, of why people run. I think on both sides. Men can say some shit. That's what I'm saying. You got to be careful. You're talking to your girl. You're talking to your wife. You're not supposed to be talking to her like that. You're not supposed to be calling her a bitch, especially in front of the children. But again, those pink flags starts early for y'all. Remember, you get to see it, but you think you can change a motherfucker, and we can't, people. Let me just say that out right. You can't change no one.
The only changes.
But what happened? You're not supposed to be disrespectful. That's why you got to iron that out and honor that. We're not gonna call each other name. We're not gonna play no little hand to face and little games like that. You can if you want to. I'm telling you, it's going to get out of hand one day. I've seen it happen. That's why I don't play those games. So you have to be respectful. The name calling, it's the most hurtful shit of them all. It hurts more than you being hit, right? It hurts the same then, I'm going to say, because I don't know, because I don't ever hit nobody. Maybe once. But but it was a reflex. Anyway, let me go back to my thing. You gotta not, the name calling is one of the worst. It starts out with name calling and then it escalates to hitting. You don't want that. Iron out the shit early, that we're not gonna do that to each other, and you could save yourself from a bunch more argument. Because nobody want to be called a bitch and, oh, you lazy bitch and blah blah blah, and you, oh, fuck you, bitch ass nigga. Nobody want to hear that shit. I'm telling you right now, you snap. You can snap from words. Words is what made motherfuckers snap. It was words. So cut it out.
So people want perfect without building anything?
People want perfect without building anything, yes, but they have to understand there's nothing perfect. Come on. We know it too. History have taught us there's nothing perfect. Everything have a flaw. Everything, especially humans. We have the most flaw because we're the most advanced of all the living things out here. There's no perfection though. One of your leg is smaller, one of your breasts is smaller, one of your eyes is smaller or can't see. One can see better than the other. We're not perfect. We're just not perfect. So it takes time. It's going to take time for this relationship to grow because it's not perfect. And you iron out the issues that you have. Start out with not being assholes, which are usually men, and bitches, what they call them. But not to call you a bitch like that, but I'm just saying, I'm just using words that have been used forever. Don't take it personal. And bitches are usually referred for women, right? Ass or bitch ass men or whatever have you.
Yeah.
But you got to be careful not to be like, if you want it to last.
Okay. I feel you on that. What happens if people never figure this out?
Oh, you, like the homie used to say, you die alone. You die alone or go get a dog. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you ain't got no kids that's going to come see you later on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we got to get this thing ironed out as soon as possible. You know what I mean? So that's what happens. You end up alone, and the longer you're alone and lonely, it's going to be harder to find someone because we get stuck in our ways. And you don't want nobody to come and mess up what you have already built. It's just the way it is. You're not going to want somebody to come in and lay in that bed that you have already set up the way you do, and he's throwing your shit on the ground because you want to get into bed. Humans have an odor that you may not like. Especially as you get older, you become so finicky. You don't want to deal with it. You want somebody in your room. You want to have that person have his own room. My wife used to snore, so I got another room, and I had to make her understand why I'm not sleeping with her, because she couldn't understand why I wouldn't want to sleep with her. I said, you snore, and I need to get to work tomorrow, so I need sleep. So I'm gonna sleep in that room, or I would try to get to sleep before her, because if I go in there after she's already been in there, I'm not gonna sleep. And I take my sleep very, very serious, because if I don't get no sleep, you want to call me an asshole? Oh, I'm worse when I don't get no sleep. I won awards before. The asshole award, I've won many of those. You know what I mean? I would go in the other room.
Okay.
And so you have to have an understanding with each other. That's it.
Do you feel like if it doesn't happen, there's what they call broken homes, or will kids be affected, or would you deal with any type of emotional damage if people don't figure out relationships, that their relationship dynamics?
Yeah, of course. I mean, nobody likes to be lonely. We're a social group of people. Everything I'm saying has been said before. We're a social group. It's good to have somebody to talk to. Not too much, though. That's another problem. Sometimes you think people want a little break. So you have to give that person a break, especially when they first come home from work. Another rule of mine is when I get home and when you get home, you get an hour to take your break, or more if you need. But I needed an hour. I don't want to hear about your job. I didn't come and talk about my job. That was there. I left shit out at home. I mean, at my job. I didn't never come and talk about my job. But my wife would want to talk, and I'd be like, no, sweetie, I need about an hour to unwind and chill before I start hearing about your issues already. So she would go by her cousin's house and go tell her about it. Yeah, she's best to listen to it. And I didn't have a problem with it. Bye.
So this isn't just about relationships. This affects the next generation, basically.
Well, yeah, it's going to always affect the next generation. Yesterday, today, and in the future. Because sometimes we just can't get along. And we can't get along initially, and to understand that it takes time to be able to get along. It takes time to get along. And every time you break up, you're taking something with you that you shouldn't take, because you didn't deal with it with that guy or girl. You got to make sure you stay. If you can stay. If it's hitting involved, I always say run. That's what I tell my girl. If they're hitting on you, run. You never stay for that.
So I heard you talk about your marriage earlier. Just to let people know, how long were you in a marriage for?
I was in a marriage for 8 years. 8 good years. The only issue was, again, we didn't iron out the main thing about a relationship. We didn't iron this one thing out. We got over the jealousy. We got over coming home, drinking too much, that we're going to cut that out. We got over a few humps. We were on our 6 humps, I call them, that you got to get over. We got over leaving stuff behind. We didn't bring up our past. No, we stopped bringing up all the little issues we had before the marriage. Like by year 5, maybe, I was with her for 9 years altogether, but married 8. And the one thing was the money, which is the main issue. It's something about this money thing that affects everybody, because one may be a spender, and the other one is a person that's a little bit more cautious with money, called frugal, cheap, whatever you want to call them. I fall into that category. I stress to her that we haven't built up our money yet, and we can't keep borrowing from your family, and I can't keep borrowing from my family, because when you go and borrow from her family, they're looking at us. They're looking at me, right? Especially, they're looking at me like, what the fuck y'all doing? And then when I go borrow from my family, they're looking at me and her at the same time, like, what are y'all doing? So you have to build, again, that foundation. And it takes 5 years. There should be no interference with you and your wife for 5 years, except for children. There should be no more interference after that. Except for your children, there's going to be the only interference with that relationship. But when it's just you and that woman, you guys are supposed to be building the strongest foundation before your children come along. Because when they come in, they need to come in a little easier on you, because it's going to be stress. Once a kid come in, those first 2 to 5, I say 5 years. 5 years is going to be a lot of stress on you and your husband. And she was a good person, come from a good family, but the money part, they spoiled her on. And she just didn't want to conform to being a little frugal. I used to tell her, like, when we first got married, I said, we're not going to get cable because we're not able. That was my saying back then. And she was like, what? I said, we're going to be at work. We're supposed to be at work right now. We're not supposed to have a payment, and we can't even watch the TV as for what it was for. Cable was for you to watch TV and chill every now and again. So for right now, for the first 2 years, we're not getting cable. So that was an issue that came up that we had a major blow up on. Most of the things were financial that we argued about. After we ironed out the other stuff, this was one that was the hardest to iron out, and it never got ironed out because I jumped ship. I'm out. I was out. So I left that relationship because I refused to keep on trying and trying, and you don't follow suit. We have to be on the same page. She would be we could be on page 2, and she would jump to page 8. I was like, wait a minute. We got a couple more pages we didn't read through here. All page count in a book. You can't skip. I've never skipped like that in a book before. I read it all the way through. Same thing in life. You can't skip. You got to go through the process. You have to go through the process. Good woman, good family. Like I tell you, that's why I chose her. And her grandmother helped a little bit too, but that's why I was with her the longest. And finance is the one you have to get a grip of early on. And I'm gonna tell you one more story about what I'm trying to tell you. She wanted a new car, right? And I've always been the kind of person that don't like using the word no, right? So because I don't use the word no, I said, okay, we can get a car. See, I'm not saying no. I say we can get a car, but we can't afford a new car. But I already know that she has a crutch, which is her mom, that she can go to all the time. I knew this. And that's another, so I said, you got to move away sometime from the family and build your foundation first, then come back into the fold of the full family later on after we get our shit together, right? And she went ahead and asked her mom, and she got her car. Not letting me know what was going on. What am I supposed to do? Especially this guy, the kind of person I am. Oh no, this is grounds for me to. And so this causes I have a saying that this causes a rift in the relationship right there. That's one, and they keep adding up because you don't want them to keep adding up. So we broke up over finance. And if you don't get that together, it's definitely not going to work.
So is finance something that you should be discussing with your woman before marriage is even brought to the table? Is that something you're supposed to be testing with her to see if she's financially sound, or is she financially savvy? And as a man, is that something that the man should be practicing? I mean, I know you say it's part of the four pillars, right? So I mean, yes, basically a man should be practicing that if he's practicing the pillars. But while he's doing that, say the man that does do that, should the woman he look for have those characteristics, and should he see that early? Like, and if he does, like, and say she's fine or something, should he stay or should he leave? You know what I'm saying? It's a tough one because I know most of the time lust gets us as men. We'll see that a woman ain't good for us, and we be thinking with the little head instead of the big head. And it's not beneficial long term.
Well, it can be. Again, remember, it can be beneficial. Remember, you have to be the one who have already started out first. You already have to have your foundation ready. Remember that. I'm going to keep saying that over and over. If you have that already set up already, the relationship will be a little bit easier because now you don't have to start with a woman, both of y'all, from scratch. If somebody can be the one who has already elevated a little bit, which most likely should be the man.
Mm-hmm.
When you bring somebody in to that already, you can elevate her up to where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Because most likely if you come in together and you're both starting from scratch, it's going to be some issues there if you're both starting from scratch. But if one already proved that he's able to take care of himself or herself, but you know, I'm a guy.
I get that.
Guy.
I get that
Yeah.
part of that angle.
Yeah.
But the reason I
So-
asked that is because, I mean, for a man that built that type of life,
Okay.
he's a man who understands liabilities and assets.
Mm-hmm.
So my opinion would be, my thing would be, should that man not look at that woman and say, okay, are you an asset in my life, or are you a liability?
Well, she's going to be both. She's going to be both, because we really don't know. But you're here already. You're up already. And if you make sure she's following what you have built. Don't let her come and change. Is where we go wrong, where men go wrong. We allow ourselves to change from who we were because of a woman. Like you said, she's fine, she's blah blah blah, and we let her take us away from what we had already been doing.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of you stay the course and she has to follow suit. But you have to stay the course, because once they get a claw in you, my nigga, that they see that you ain't doing shit, or you're not following what you had already started when you started to lead, and then all of a sudden you become relaxed. Women don't like a guy that become relaxed, because they're gonna take over, and when they take over, it's over for you.
It's pretty much over.
So you have to make sure that but she's gonna be both.
Okay.
She's going to be an asset and she's going to be a liability, but it depends on your role of how you're
Leading.
leading and interacting with her.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Makes sense. So this is another one. When it comes to marriage, right? How much should a man pay for a ring?
A man shouldn't even buy a ring, technically, in my eyes, because I didn't. The ring I bought was idiotic after I looked back at it. I spent that money on a piece of thing, because if you love me, the question is, will you marry me? The question have nothing to do with will you take this ring.
The ring is a symbol of that.
I know, so just get her a ring then. Just get her a ring. And if she won't accept it, then she don't love you, because she's supposed to just love you. It doesn't matter what you're putting on her hand. It's the love that you wanted, right? It's not the ring. Let's hope it's not the ring. That's the greatest thing of this thing. No, love. I love you enough to tell you I want to spend the rest of my life with you. You're supposed to say yes. If you already see, again, if this man is already elevated, he's not gonna have a problem with this woman. But if he's coming in shabby, she's gonna be like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But if he's coming in clean and ready to go, ready to take on a wife, she's going to most likely say yes and take whatever you give her, because that's a lot of money. Anything over, okay, I'm gonna give a number then. Anything over $500, that's too much fucking money. And I'm still thinking $500 is too much for a fucking ring to put on somebody's finger when you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be telling you, I love you, I want to spend the rest of my life with you, I want us to have kids together. Out of her mouth, if she loves you and she want to spend the rest of her life with you, should not be looking at the ring. It's supposed to be yes.
Okay.
And that's it. And you move on to the next level.
So I want to ask you this: do you feel as though some I'm not gonna say all women, but some women, do you feel as though some women get married for the wedding and not the actual duty of being a wife, or do you feel like we don't know?
Oh no, some do and some don't. And the ones that do is because they were brought up a certain way. They have standards. They have they're not going to budge from that. And you have to pay attention to that. You know, she has standards. She was raised a certain way. She was raised that, because remember, we have been hoodwinked. Hoodwinked to believe the shit that we're talking about, that you need a ring to get married. It wasn't like that, bro. You're starting off poor. Why would you put yourself in so much debt? Again, you shouldn't have to put yourself in so much debt, especially if you don't have it, right? You putting yourself in debt. Okay, you're looking at the ring. Let's say this guy want to spend 3 times his, which is what they say. The ring's supposed to be 3 times his pay. What? The fuck out of here. There's no way. Okay, but that's what they say. Whoever they are. Then second, you got the ring. You out $5,000. I'm gonna go a lavish, well, a somewhat lavish way. You got $5,000 out right there. Then you got to get the venue. I'm gonna go another $2,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're already $7,000 in. Then you got to go and get the dress and all the other stuff and every other thing in there. I'm gonna add another $10,000 in there for. So you're looking at $30,000, $40,000 for a wedding? Are you fucking kidding me? That should be a down payment for a house.
Yeah.
Come on, really? You should not be wasting that off top, is what I'm saying. Because later on, remember what I just said? Finance is the thing that hurts us in the long run. Because now you don't have it. Because people go in debt to get married. Idiots. That's the dumbest shit you could do. So you should be buying a house because you're gonna want a house. If you get a woman a house or the wedding, I'm thinking the house.
It's a clear indicator to know what type of woman you have.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If you're already built, you're able to now pick and choose now. If you're 5 years in, you're able to pick and choose and interrogate their ass. But at the same time, remember, she's gonna be a liability too, because she's gonna want stuff. Women want stuff.
No,
but it's up to you. It's up to you to run the show.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let them run the show, is what I'm saying. Because once they do, you have lost the ship.
Okay. How important is it for kids to see real love growing up?
It's important. It's very important, so that they could see it and then emulate it later on in their relationship. You know, because every time you don't see the other half of you there, they don't know what to do in a real relationship. You're gonna argue. They need to see a little bit of it. I'm not saying to argue all the time in front of your kids, but it happens. But every now and then you gotta remember that they're sponge. Kids are sponge. Not sponge from good, but sponge from bad too. They're seeing it all. Trust me, they know. Okay? So it's important because you want the kid to be able to look for somebody like their father if it's a girl, and like their mother if it's a boy, right? And calm relationship. Every now and again you have a little storm in there, because no one is perfect, right? So you're gonna have a little storm. It's good for them to see a little argument and you hash it out and you come back together, so that they can understand that, hey, yeah, arguments are a part of it, but not to blow up. Again, not calling each other names in front of your kids and shit like that. Raising your voice and expressing your opinion without foul language is okay around kids. It's when the foul language is thrown out there, because they're going to look at you like, you calling my mama that, or you calling that or that, and then now you are going to be getting no respect from your kids because of what your significant other said to you, and your kids are not going to look at you the same. So you have to make sure that you get that ironed out right away. But the kids need both parents to understand each other, to see that how they deal with each other, so she can deal with her relationship or his relationship when he do have one.
I want to ask this: is it better to stay and fix something, or leave and start over?
It's better to stay and fix it than start over. I didn't go and get no kind of counseling. We got counseling before we got married.
Yeah.
But we never got counseling at that moment or before that moment when we were having issues with the finance. It's better to stay, especially if you have children. Again, unless you're being hit. I don't advocate for that. There's no hitting around here. We don't do that. That's grounds for me to shoot your ass on both sides. That's ground for me to hurt you. So I don't believe in the hitting part. But anyway, stay. Try to stay, because you're gonna encounter the same thing out there. I promise you, we're all flawed. Some of us are flawed way more, so they're screwed, because again, no one taught us much. We got taught the basic. So if you can stay, if you are going to stay, let me put it this way, if you're going to stay, go get some counseling, go get some help, go see what you're doing wrong, and be open with it. Don't just go there and be like, yeah, I don't believe in this psych shit. It's not about psych shit. It's so that you could see another opinion of what you're doing wrong. If you want it now. If you don't want it, then kick rocks and move on. But you're not going to find much out there, guys and girls. You're just not. Especially once you have somebody, really, we're supposed to be coveting the person that we have right now. Because it's not much out there. You're going to encounter the same shit. Or worse. Or worse. And you don't want your kids around somebody else. You just don't. I'm telling you. You don't. And the kids don't want to be around somebody else. Even with his flaw or her flaw. The kids don't want a different mama. The kids don't want a different daddy. They want that fucked up ass daddy, as you would call him. But hopefully in your head, though, not outspoken. Or that bitch ass woman. Hopefully dudes in your mind, not verbally in front of your kids. You think about it in your mind and you go talk to her when your kids is not around. But the kids want to see that those faces it's been seeing since it was a kid. Why was it always good before we had kids? And right after we have kids now, we can't stand each other. I know, because again, I told you, love is just a four-letter word. Love is just a four-letter word. Is because now you have to share love, deep love. Now, because it's a kid, it needs everything. So stay together. Going your own way is only going to cause more problem, because you're going to start all over again trying to learn this person, and most likely you end up alone because you're going to be picky at this point.
So this would be my final question. After everything, what does real love actually look like?
Real love look like going through the storm and coming out unscathed. What I mean, you stayed, right? You stayed through the good and bad. And because everything is going to slow down now. And you're going to look back and realize that I'm glad for the ones who have someone right now. They're going to be like, man, see, I'm glad I weathered the storm with this woman or this man. Because things are about to hit the fan. And if you don't have a family, if you don't have a significant other, I'm sorry for you, my friend. It's not going to be good. Stay. Work it out. Love comes later.
So would you feel like there's pillars to love?
Yeah, there is pillars to love. It starts off when you're young and unaware, not knowing where it's going, what this person is going to be like later on. And it's the same thing with a job, right? You get more comfortable as time go by at your job. You get more comfortable as time go by in a relationship. You see, comfort comes later. It's not when you're first starting out. It's just like the kids. The kids get easier when they get older, right? They start to be able to cook for themselves, look after themselves. But when they were a baby, they needed you 24/7. But later on, it gets better. It takes time for it to get better. It's just like a wound then. This is God. It's just like a wound, a cut, getting beat up, getting a black eye and everything like that, right? It's a process. It gets better. That black eye, after that black eye, you're going to go back to looking normal again. You're good now. That's what I'm saying. You got to go through the storm to come out on the other side of that sunshine.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to tell the people before we end this segment?
Yeah, just know that it's not easy. It's never going to be easy. It never was easy. It only gets easy if you start out with an understanding that we're going to try to make this thing work. We're not going to call each other name. There's no hitting involved here. We're going to try to always be at peace with each other, especially in the home, especially when you're out and about in the community and church or wherever you're at when you're out and about. You're not supposed to be disrespectful to each other. Find a place where you could go yell and argue is what I think. With no foul words. I'm talking about just go yell and get it out the way. And I wish I would have taken the time out to know what I know now but it happens to a whole bunch of people forever that we are, again, it takes time. It takes time for you to realize that, hey, man, I could have done this, I could have done that. So if you would have stayed with the same mentality, I could still be with that woman. Because again, she was a good person, come from a good family. And I was a good person, come from a good family. And we made a good match. But circumstances of our attitudes, when it came to finance, remember that was the only thing we didn't get over, but all the other stuff we were good on. We were good on all the other. She realized that you can't throw a girl over the ship just because I was dancing next to her. That really happened. Anyway, stay together though. Yeah, stay together. If you have kids, especially for them.
All right. Well, that's Brahamid Speaks. If you're in a relationship or trying to build one, this ain't something you can take lightly, because love isn't just something you feel, it's something you build. If you like what we talked about today, make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. We'll be back. Until next time.
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah. Yeah. The world is yours, nigga. Every day's a win, nigga. Even when you lose, it's a lesson.